Yo, what's up, everybody? Um, we're we're back again. Fucking Sunday night. Thank you everybody for coming. We have Maria Matticola here. Fucking how fucking awesome is that? And let me just look at the fucking live chat already. And oh shit, there's fucking people here. Okay, pretty cool. I don't care if there's just 13 or 14 people here. We're gonna start it anyway, and I'm not gonna wait for everybody. I'm not gonna wait for the room to fill up or anything like that. That's a desperation move, man. Anyway, listen, if you fucking need a quality ball python or hognose, head on over. Or no, he's not even doing hognose anymore. Shit, I'm sorry, dude. If you need a quality ball python or dumb little leopard gecko, head on over to Small Town Exotics. My boy fucking Shane. I'm gonna be seeing Shane next month, so I'm pretty fucking happy. I'm heading out to Tennessee. Listen, another guy that just fucking crushed it at the Baton Rouge Herp Show this weekend. Fucking Nick Markham from TBN Reptiles. If you need a quality hognose, go on over to TBM Reptiles on Instagram. Great Family Snakes, Roger and Lori are fucking killer, and they're in Alabama. All right. Fucking can't get better than that. Can't get more south than fucking Forrest Gump, Alabama. Great Family Snakes. If you need a quality ball python, except especially a what do they call it? A pied fucking exanthic. That's why they're called gray, right? Well, whatever. That's their last name. But anyway, if you needed quality pied axanthic fucking in your project, head on over to GFS, Great Family Snakes, and fucking talk to Roger and Lori. Look at this, a little combination of two previous sponsors of McKnight Stables and Capital Reptiles. They have fucking merged and they are now Chimera. Chimera Reptile on Instagram. Listen, they really are killing it with the high-end ball pythons, and they offer consulting through their Patreon for some ridiculous like fucking $30 a month. Listen, take advantage of Patrick and Andre. Fucking Andre is a looker. Patrick is like, all right. So it's like you get a choice in between somebody that's smart and somebody that's smart and good looking. Chimera Reptiles. Now, listen, this is my guy right here. Fucking Shamir Bernard of Royal Black Balls. If you need a quality ball python, head on over to fucking Shamir Bernard and Cassie over at Royal Black Balls. Fucking, these are two of some of the fucking nicest people in this fucking dumb hobby. And they, all my sponsors kind of make this hobby tolerable. I got to be honest with you. All right, so let's close down this. Then we're gonna look at the people that are in the fucking chat now because everybody needs their goddamn validation. So we have to fucking just go up here and fucking see who's here. Fucking Corey Martin, first one here. I don't think she's here anymore. So I think no, she's not here. She's in fucking like the Amazon. So if she's getting a cell signal, thank you for coming. Small Town, you're not first. Mark Curry, this guy fucking kicks ass over at Constrictor Connection. Probably one of the few people that don't want to be on 15 Minutes of Lane because this fucker just was like, nope, I don't want to be on it. But I respect the guy for fucking not wanting to be on it. This is my boy, fucking Luke from Australia. Speaking of Luke from Australia, make sure you tune in to watch our new show, Bronx Down Under, Tuesday night at 8:00. We're basically, I mean, this is some funny shit. If you don't want to laugh, if you're a fucking pussy with a stick up your ass, this is not the show. So that's an invitation to not watch. But if you want to laugh and you want to have some fucking fun, watch me and Luke with Brian over from Samson Snakeatorium at Bronx Down Under, Tuesday night at 8:00. It's going to be right here on YouTube. All right. My boy Tag, the only guy in America with a Snakes and a Fat Man tattoo on him. Lori Gray still showing up. Fucking Yeah, she's in the top 5, so she's happy. Lori Gray is fucking awesome. Love her to death. This fucking degenerate who's starting a new show, um, basically critiquing shows. I mean, I don't know what that's gonna do, but it's a douche move. But fucking, I wish Will fucking success with it. Let's see, who else do we got here? Fucking, I don't know. Leviathan, 15 minutes of lame winner, 2022. Thank you for coming by, guys. Uh, Jamie, 15 minutes of lame fucking nominee in the first fucking season. Love Jamie to death. Balls and strikes. I think I got a new fan in him. Being that we showed up on, I think it was Keys Zoom call, or might have been. I don't fucking know. But I met him and he's a fucking awesome guy. Troy is fucking killer. This is my girl Bree from Tennessee. Go watch her sing on the fucking the Forward Motion podcast that she was just on. I mean, Bree is fucking unreal. Should be signed to a record label. Don't know why she's not, but you could actually hear her sing on Forward Motion Reptile show. Cuddle time. Don't know you, so I can't really say much about you, but thank you for coming. That is my guy right here. Fucking love him to death. Fucking new kid on the way. He's fucking, maybe part of the problem, but you can't hold that against him. He's fucking awesome. Fucking sexy and Ring is here, fucking rocking that shit. Okay, let's see. Oh, Jesus Christ, Josh Strange, this fucking nutbag shows up on all of these. I fucking love him to death. I think he just had a show last week, and I think he fucking crushed it. Another sponsor in fucking TBM, killed it. He killed it at the Herp show in Baton Rouge. Eric Morse Factory, what's up? Genetic Canvas, what's up? Chris Blocker. That's a fucking cool last name, man. Fucking 15 minutes of lame winner. Fucking who just got his Instagram account back. Fucking High Desert Pythons. What else are you gonna say? Patricia, what's up? Creative Korlovus with the 2 chicks on it, even though it's a guy that looks like the singer from Offspring. Who else? Oh, my new boy Joe DeStefano is on. Met Joe on a Keys Live Friday night, and Joe is fucking awesome. He's fucking a lot of fun to hang out with, and he's gonna kill some shit, man. That's all I'm saying. Not kill some shit, but fucking kill it. Fucking Holly is here. Fucking my girl Holly, who was also at the Keys Zoom call at fucking 2 a.m. when I might have said some inappropriate stuff. What are you gonna do? Lindsay from Pico Pythons. Let's see here. Lindsay was also at that fucking Zoom call and kind of fucking like insulting to the fat man. Fucking very, very disrespectful. Fucking you made me feel bad. You made me feel bad, and you don't know that I'm a delicate flower on the inside. So, okay. All right, fuck that. What we're actually doing now is, because I've been accused of having women on that know nothing. That's an insult to everybody that's been on this show in the past. But it was said by a dickhead Canadian, so don't really take it too hard. I'm gonna bring on a fucking beautiful woman that knows like everything. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Right, Maria, what's up?
Don't hype me up too much. I told you that.
Nah, we could hype you up a lot. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
I don't know about all that.
Well, what are you doing right now? Fucker, tell me that I can't hype you up after you answer that question by saying, "Yeah, Chris, I work with tigers and lions and yeah." Go ahead, tell me how much you don't know. Okay.
I don't know nothing. I'm still learning.
Yeah,
we're always still learning.
Yeah. But fucking, you have a history of fucking being the smartest person in the room. I'm just saying. Okay.
No.
Yeah. No, at least you do.
All right. At least whatever you say.
When did I meet you? What, 4 years ago?
I don't know. Time blends together.
Yeah. But the first time I met you in person, you were selling dead stuff at your table.
I was, yeah, and I freaked you out. After you
Yeah.
had talked all this stuff about how, oh, I don't know why anyone says all this stuff is weird, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be so cool. And I think you saw like a kitten on my table or something. You're like, whoa, all right. I
That's
get
the
it.
thing that freaked me out. When I saw the chameleon and I think the ball python with the purple on it, what do they call that?
Yeah, diaphanized.
Yeah, diameter. I thought it was cool as fuck. I was like, this is not bad. She's doing some cool shit.
And
And
then you saw a kitten.
then I saw a dead kitten in a jar, and I was like, oh, this fucking is gonna give me nightmares for the rest of my fucking life. Um, how well let's go back a little bit. When I first met you, you were fucking killing shit, like invasive species in Texas, right?
Yeah, so I worked for an agency. It wasn't all just invasive stuff, but so I used to work for the USDA with their wildlife services, and basically we'd contract out with either private properties or like I worked with some zoos on contracts. I worked on Air Force bases, and so basically just kind of dealing with situations that involved wild animals. So I would do a lot of research-based stuff as well as invasive stuff. So basically what happens is there's a National Wildlife Research Center in Fort Collins, Colorado, and they come up with all of these research goals, what they want to prove or disprove, or what they want specimens from, or data collections. And so they'll pass that along. And I was basically the field work hands-on part of that. So I get my instructions and I deal with whatever I need to deal with.
Well, when you say you deal with everything that you need to deal with, how did you deal with it?
So it just depended on what I was doing, like what the project was. So there was one project that involved, they were trying to get a home range on feral hogs in this national like wildlife area, so that they could do a study on their impact on ground nesting wildlife. So like turkeys, for example, I think was the specific case study for that. So I would trap feral hogs and try to dart them or jab stick with sedatives to knock them out. And then I'd put a GPS collar on them and then wake them up. And we would use telemetry to find that home range so that the research person can go and put a dummy nest with chicken eggs or whatever inside this home range so that they can find the impact on how they affect those nests. Another project I did was trying to do samples, a DNA study of how if you take an area that has feral pigs and then you kill all of the feral pigs in this area, will it cause a vacuum that draws from other areas or whatever? So they wanted to prove that. So I was taking samples, DNA samples, so I'd trap and kill the feral hogs. And then I would take DNA samples and blood samples and whatever I needed to do for that. And then I've done other stuff, like I did stuff with birds and deer and pretty much anything and everything.
When you had to kill the hogs, did you do it with a rifle?
So I have killed hogs many ways. I've killed them with rifles. There was a project where it was easier to just heart stick with a knife on some feral piglets. I used my 9mm a lot. It just kind of depended on because I use different traps. So I use like box traps or corral traps, and so depending on those traps will determine my method of killing. Or like there was a research project where I was doing a study on different calibers specifically. So they wanted to know, in the event of a disaster. So for a disaster with pigs would involve the domestic meat industry. So in the event of like the African swine flu or anything else disease wise that could spread across the pigs, if a facility needed to cull all of their pigs in bulk, what is the most humane, cost effective, and quickest way to death? Because you can kill a pig, but it may not instantaneously kill them. So we had to do a project where I was calculating. So from the minute I shot, we were recording how long it took till the very last movement. Because when you kill something very quickly, when something dies suddenly, their muscles still have to catch up to it. So
Right.
from the minute I shoot it to the minute every involuntary movement has stopped, we timed that for everything. And I don't know if you can hear all the puppies. I'm sorry if you
Yeah, no,
can.
I can, but it's okay. It's all right.
Okay. So yeah, there's a study about that, and so I tried 3 different shot placements with that as well. So they wanted to know which shot placement is the most humane and kills them the quickest, which caliber killed them the quickest, etc., etc. So there's a lot of different aspects involved. But then there's times where I'm just crapping for like a rancher or whatever who's having an issue with the feral hogs or whatever, coyotes or anything else damaging their property. And so I would just trap and kill them and take samples. We always do disease sampling no matter what we're doing,
Right.
obviously, because we want to track rabies and everything else spreading through Texas. So we take samples of everything, but just kill them with a gun.
Okay. All right. Well, you had some problems with the bird people, right?
I did. That was my
Yeah.
least favorite project, and I was on it for the longest. That was several years, over and over. I think I was on that project over the course of like 4 years. And it was a seasonal deal, right? So what happened was there was, in a bad area for them to be roosting and nesting, there was a rookery of these birds. And so the problem is there was not enough space in the area that they were trying to nest to safely house them. They were causing disease threat and an issue with human impact. So they were in the middle of a city park, and they were on this little bitty island. And so people are walking by, people are, coming into contact with dead animals that are dying from these diseases, and just the buildup of waste and everything else is causing, ammonia inhalation and everything else. So it was a bad place for that, but also because they were flying across an active runway for an Air Force base that was doing active training flights. So they were flying nonstop all day, every day, taking off, and these birds are flying across that runway. And so it's causing an impact with being a bird strike issue. So that could take down a plane. So what we were trying to do is just move them to a better location. And that caused this whole big uproar, which included, and not limited to, me being called a murderer, even though we really didn't kill any of them. And just that stemmed into a whole lot of other issues. We had to move those same type of birds from another location because they moved from that location on, and we kept trying to move them. And then it turned into this whole big, why is a bird's life less important than a human's life? And that's the kind of people I was dealing with. So I was getting harassed, followed, stalked, everything, pictures of me everywhere, videos of me everywhere. I'm not even working for the agency anymore this year on the project. And I'm still being sent stuff from my old coworkers of them still posting things about me as if I'm there.
Yeah. No, I love the pictures of the pictures that you took of the guy photographing you to put on his Facebook. Yeah, that was fucking great.
Yeah,
And
I'd be 100 feet up in the air on a lift, and they're just sitting there filming everything that I do, and saying what we're doing is illegal and blah blah blah. When at the time, and that project is still with the federal government employees. Like, we
right,
are working hand in hand with the people that make these laws. Like, we are following the law to the T. We have all of our permits in place. We're not doing anything we shouldn't, blah, blah, blah. We're being very open with what we're doing and how we're doing it. And obviously, if they're recording me, they can see everything we're doing, but they had to twist it to fit their narrative in any way they could. So,
right. Yeah, no, it's yeah, it was just funny to fucking watch that whole thing unfold. How long have you been working with reptiles? Because that's
um,
another thing that I think that people don't know. Um,
that
because
I keep live
basically,
animals.
well, that yeah, that you keep actual living animals. And you've been in the hobby a long time, right? You've worked with a
Yes.
different,
So I, of course, came from a family that's very outdoorsy. So I was always the kid walking around, picking up stuff I shouldn't, messing with stuff, taking home things. We like to joke around. My parents never let me have a puppy when I was a kid. So I brought home everything else.
well,
I
that's
we keep we've always kept fish tanks, and so we'd go to there was this little pet store. It was a little mom and pop shop. His name was Mike Berardi, and the little pet store is called River City Exotics. If anyone tunes in from the San Antonio area, they know who that was. But so we used to go to him for everything fish related. He'd always, talk to me, chit chat with me. And so as soon as I was of age to volunteer at his pet store, I would go volunteer. And so I think that was like, what, 14, 15, I was working with. And he was one of those stores that we bred things in house. So I was getting hands-on experience with breeding things, and I was getting put in charge of stuff, taking care of animals and everything. I think my first pet reptile, it was technically an amphibian, but the first pet that I had that wasn't like a native species or something, I think I was like 8 or 9. And that was a white street frog, which I know you have now. They're my favorite.
yep.
They're so awesome. They will
They're,
still
they're,
always
they're,
be one of the favorites. They're dumb.
they're dumb as fuck. Yeah,
They
they're
are, but it makes
dumber
them
than a ball python.
adorable.
Yeah, I mean, they're yeah. I look at a ball python and I think, what a dumb animal. But then I look at these fucking frogs and I'm like, ball pythons are geniuses compared to this fucking frog. Like at
They're
least
so
a ball
cute. They're just
python.
so fat. They're always
Yeah,
happy.
yeah. No, they're not always happy. I don't think. Maybe yours were, but mine are not. Okay.
I got
Um.
I got that pet. I think I was 8 or 9. It was my brother's girlfriend at the time or whatever had it, and it was like 12 years old already, and she didn't have time for it, whatever, so she gave it to me. And then so I was volunteering at the pet store, and then as soon as I legally could work for him, so at 16 I started working for him, and because I'd been volunteering and because I was, basically like he was like another father to me. I was managing that pet store. And so I was in charge of breeding them and taking care of things and opening the store and everything. And so I have done that since 16 and brought home, uh, I think my first exotic snake, I was probably like 14-ish, and that was a Woma python.
Right. Right.
Um, of course, the perfect beginner snake.
Yeah, that's a great fucking snake and for your first year doing anything. Yeah.
Oh man, I loved them because we were breeding them in house there, and so I've just been keeping things ever since. And
Well,
yeah,
there was a time, even like 3 years ago, I think 2 years ago, where I was seeing that you were bringing home like a dozen fucking snakes at a time, and I was like, "What the fuck, man?" You were keeping rat snakes and fucking king snakes, I think.
yeah, I don't post a lot of my stuff, but I mean, like my friends and everything who have been to the house, and even though have only been, so for a while I was selling live animals with I've been vending shows, I think, since 16 or 17, and that's when a lot of people met me at these shows, like Sean and Lori. I used to vend side by side before the herp shows even started.
Right. When they were
And like
doing
JT and everybody else, they all met me around then. I was 16 or 17, and I had a foster daughter at the time. And then, so I think that's pretty much why no one actually thinks that I'm the age that I am, is because they met me so young and I was already responsible for
right.
a small human.
Yeah, well, you're only 26 now, right?
I
And
am.
you're basically like a better looking Caleb because you kind of grew up in the industry too, right? Like fucking, but
Um,
you're like the female version of him. I mean, you're not an
hey,
idiot, all right?
hey,
All right, I'm
listen,
just saying, all
I
right,
don't like that reference,
all right, all right.
but
Yeah,
I
discard
think
that for the record.
I'm slightly different in the way that I wasn't brought into the hobby because of a parent. Like, I didn't have a parent that was involved in the hobby. I got into it on my own.
Right,
So my parents are very, very supportive of me. But they weren't going with me to the shows. I was vending on my own. Um, I think they've been to a handful of my shows with me as like support now, but that was into my adult years. So like Caleb and even my girlfriend Coral, they have parents that are in the hobby. So they got raised into the hobby, been around it, whatever. I just kind of dove into the deep by myself and navigated it on my own, and networked and made all of these friendships and everything without that extra step already had
yeah,
been added for me.
yeah. But basically, Caleb, if you're listening, she just said "fuck you." That's just the way it goes.
Those are your words, not mine.
Have you done? Have you done ball pythons? Breeding ball
I
pythons?
I have. So that pet store that I started out at, we were breeding ball pythons in house. So like back when bumblebees were super cool and not all these other morphs. I think one of the coolest morphs we were getting into back then was uh Xanthics. So BPI Xanthics. The biggest project that I had back then was BPI Xanthic. We were trying to breed into pieds to try to make lightning pieds. And so that and trying to breed them into albino for snows and blah, blah, blah. Those were all like, oh my gosh, we're going to make it.
Right, right.
But so I did ball pythons breeding in house for the pet store, and then I bred them on my own for a little bit. And I've always throughout the years kept a few here and there, but I don't really they're not really my thing.
Yeah,
I have one ball python right now.
one, right?
Yeah, and it's
And
because I got it from a friend of mine, and she eats and shits and lives here, and that's where she's gonna live for the rest of her life.
okay, and what kind of ball python is it?
I think she's a butterhead albino or something.
Oh,
I don't
gay,
know.
fucking 1990s jeans. Okay,
I
all
know
right. Uh,
she's not anything special. She's not anything like crazy. She's a snake. She doesn't think she's a ball python. She eats and acts like she's a retic. So maybe that's
Well,
why I like her. So
you have one of the rarest ball pythons in the country. Then a fucking butter.
you know,
Like who the fuck has a
everybody
butter?
says that, but I have never had that issue with ball pythons. I think I can count on my hand the ball pythons that I ever had issues with. I don't know if it's how people keep them. I don't know if it's because I don't I don't keep only ball pythons, and so I just treat them like I treat my other stuff. I don't know what it is, but I've always had ball pythons that would fly out of the tub for food. Like I've never had that issue.
Oh no, I was just talking like who the fuck has a butter anymore?
Oh
Like, that's why I just don't even think that's around. Um,
yeah,
y-
everyone's got butter this and this now.
yeah.
I
Well,
don't have that.
what do you think of the ball python hobby right now? Because I know you see it because you go to all these shows.
Yeah,
Um,
I've never had an issue. Like I kept ball pythons and I thought they were really cool for a while, and I like the aspect. So I like ball pythons in that there's so many morphs, right? Because I kind of geek out for that stuff, right? I like being able to predict and play with, hey, I paired this and I paired this and this is what I make. So that's why I like morphs for a lot of different things. And so I'll never shit on the ball python hobby because
Oh, come
it's
on. That's what we do here.
successful to
All
them
right.
and people are making a living on it. And I have a lot of friends that are really into ball pythons and they're cool in their own regard. They're just not my favorite for keeping. Um, but if I could get them their colors and other stuff, I'd be over the moon. I
Oh, yeah.
am definitely jealous of the amount of colors and patterns. And do I still want to pick up a ball python here and there at a show that I think is cool? Hell yeah. Am I going to pay the prices for those? No, because I have expensive taste in everything. And the ones that I like are like 12 grand.
Well, and speaking of paying, you I totally forgot where I was going. Sorry, I was looking at your boobs. Fucking just it's very distracting. Um, you do a lot of other like you do rat snakes and king snakes. You even keep venomous, right?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. You
What
know,
venomous
just
do you keep?
another female who doesn't know how to keep venomous.
Yes, exactly. Just another female idiot that doesn't know how to keep anything. What kind of venomous do you have?
So right now I have squams, I've got some rattlesnakes, and I've got rhino vipers, gaboon vipers. I've got a random copperhead. I don't think I have too much for the venomous stuff right now. I'm probably going to get more into some venomous this year, but with the new move and we're trying to get cages and everything situated, I'm going to hold off on adding more of that stuff this year till all that's done and settled.
How many animals do you have in the house right now?
I have no idea. Don't ask me that.
No. Do you have animals in every room of the house?
Fuck, I think I do.
Yeah. Fuck, I'm not surprised. When did you get into the keeping dead stuff and figuring you could hawk it for fucking money? When did this happen?
So I have been into dead stuff for pretty much longer than I've been into keeping the living stuff. I am a biology nerd. I love everything and anything. How things are done, how things are made, what makes it work, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. And like I said, we're really big into fish. So my family, the first wet specimen I ever made for myself, other than like, you know, reading books and everything, biology books, we went deep sea fishing and it was like winter or something. It was cold outside. And I caught a shark. And before we could pull her up and release her, she passed away. So we cut her open and there were some babies in them. And so I kept a couple of the babies and I brought them home and my mom helped me put them in a jar with alcohol. And those were my first wet specimens and I still have those too. And so that kind of snowballed into just weird stuff, biology stuff. And then I've just kind of self-taught over the years of how to make different specimens, how to clean down bones, how to do the diaphanized with chemicals. And I have made specimens for it. I think the business side of it started with, I was making specimens for labs, science classrooms, stuff like that. And I was selling kind of duplicates I made or pieces that I made to fund the chemicals so that I could keep making them. And then it just kind of grew from there, I guess.
How long does it take to diaphanize something?
So the diaphanized process is kind of complicated in its own way. That answer is not a simple cut and dry, I can start this and it's done by this time. It depends on a whole lot of factors. So the most complicated part of it, or I guess let me go back a few notches. For the people who don't know what diaphanizing is, it's a process where I take an animal, I remove its skin and organs, and then I fix it in a formaldehyde solution first so that it's fixed and preserved. And then from there, it goes through about 7 or 8 different chemical processes that each do a little bit different things. So there's a stain that'll stick to calcium, and that's why the bone is one color. There's a stain that sticks to the cartilage, and that's why the cartilage is a blue color. And then I use chemicals to mix with an enzyme that starts breaking down the muscle tissue so that it's workable for me, and then I can bleach it translucent, essentially, so that you could see through the muscle tissue and see the skeletal structure as it's supposed to be because it's been stained.
And is there a maintenance that has to be done on it once you get it finished?
No, so for as far as the diaphanization process goes, once it's done, it's done. So just like with the wet specimens and everything else, if it's done properly, and I say that because we do everything to museum standards, the wet specimens, the diaphanize, everything else. There are some people that make wet specimens and work with dead stuff that don't do it properly. And so those ones will rot over time. But the way we do it, as long as you keep it suspended in whatever it's supposed to be suspended in. So wet specimens get suspended in isopropyl alcohol. The diaphanized specimens get suspended in glycerin. As long as it's suspended in that, they'll last indefinitely.
So if you touch it after it's done, does the whole thing just fucking fall apart or no?
No. So because of the enzyme breaking down the muscle tissue, what it essentially turns into is I can take the specimen out of a jar and it's just kind of gelatinous. So the muscle is just very jelly-like, and so it's just really limp. And that's why you suspend it in glycerin, because that's what holds it upright, essentially. So that's what will hold it in its place. But it won't fall apart like that. It still has the muscle tissue that's holding it all together.
Right. Okay. And you do a lot of shows, right? I mean, you're
yeah, I used to go to a lot more shows, but it takes its own toll on pretty much life. The last few years, there's been a lot more and more shows going on, and so it was a lot harder to keep up with going to most of them. So this year we cut back on a lot of shows. I think even with cutting back, we're still going to like 12 plus shows. So
right. That, I mean, there's probably 4 a month in Texas, right?
I don't even keep up with how many are going on.
Fucking a lot.
There's like 4 or 5 different show like entities, different promoters in the state for sure. There might be 6 more.
What's your favorite?
Oh, you're gonna get me in trouble with that question.
And not if you answer right. Okay.
So I don't know. So the shows for me are less about making money, except for, this year I've changed a lot with my job and income and everything. So this year I need to start focusing on making money instead of just going to hang out. But my big 3 in Texas are the Herp shows, NARBC, and then a smaller show called Texas Reptile Expo. Yeah, I think so. Okay. And that's in McQueenie. That's a local one, and that's not put on by but kind of managed by my girlfriend's father. So I have to shout out that show.
Oh, I gotcha.
No, I've
been married.
Yeah, I had issues with the owner of the show, personal issues long ago, like when I was a teenager, and so I haven't been going to that show lately. But I started vending again, so we'll be at that show for every time they put on now, and I think that's our next show. Actually, is going to be the McQueenie show coming up this month.
Okay, and for everybody that doesn't know, you were the second in command, right, of Reptile for quite a while.
I was. I mean, right. Not really, but kind of, I guess. I still don't even know what my exact job description was, but
Well,
yeah,
when we were there, you clearly knew that Reptile would fall apart without fucking Maria there running shit. Okay,
don't
so
say that. Yeah. I have another me there. His name is Chris, so you should love him automatically for his name alone. Chris used to work for JT for a while, and then he left, but now he's managing the show. He's
okay.
the me now. So
And,
Recti Chip's still in good hands.
well, and how is it working for JT?
Listen, I still have to work for him here and there, so
So you
he's
don't want to say, okay, all right.
no, he's I've known JT since, like I said, since I was a teenager. And he's always been a really cool guy. I don't know if it's smart to work for your friends, but it was definitely fun and interesting. He's really good as far as boss goes, like being an employee of Repti Chip, and they are still hiring. So if you're local and need a job, they always need people.
So you're no longer working there. That was obviously by your choice because everything was so busy, right? Because
Yeah.
I know JT would never have gotten rid of you. You know, so I already know that. We've spoke about it many times. Um, so
Yeah, I don't
now,
know if that'll be a long time thing, or I might find my way back at some point. Who knows what the future holds? But for now, there's just too much involved with the new move and trying to get everything figured out at home. So I had to
right.
take a break from Reptile.
And what are you doing now?
So my girlfriend's father has a private zoo, and so I'm helping him out here and there when I can. And then gonna focus more on my business and trying to make money on my front instead of focusing on everybody else's money and kind of slacking on working on dead stuff. One of our last shows, we pretty much sold. I think it was the NARBC was our last show, and we sold out pretty much most of what was left over. So I have a lot of work to do to build back up for the next show.
Okay. And also people would be surprised to find out that you have an OnlyFans.
I do.
And how's that
I think
going?
that was a shock for a lot of people.
Fucking A.
It's still
I
kind of
felt
a shock for me. That was kind of I back when everybody was like super getting into it a couple years ago, and everybody was jumping on making an OnlyFans. I thought about it, but at that point I was still working for the federal government, and I am a very paranoid person, and so I was just like, what if somehow it messes up something for my future? And I think this past year, with all of the changes and everything else, I finally kind of just said, fuck it and make it. It's still new. I started out at the beginning of this year, which ended up being a total mess up because this year has kicked my ass tremendously. So I am slowly building it up. It's still new. I'm still trying to figure it out. But now that I've left Repti Chip and I have more time at home, I can focus a little bit more on that as well as the rest of businesses.
Yeah, Maria will tell you that I was stupid uncomfortable even talking to her about it.
You were so cute when you were messaging me.
I was just like, listen, I want to support. So, but could I just give you money every month and not join? But and Maria was like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. You know,
Yeah, I
she's
don't
like,
care. I don't care who sees me. It's fine. Yeah, you're not the only one who messaged me that way too. A few people had messaged me and they're like, listen, is it weird to be a supportive friend and go
that's what I'm
subscribe to
saying.
your OnlyFans? No, I don't care genuinely.
No.
I actually did a promotion thing. I put it up today, actually, right before this, because I figured we'd talk about it. And if anybody else wanted to subscribe, I think I did 10% off or something for new subscribers.
What's the name?
So it's Spicy Enrichment, all one word.
Okay. Enrichment has a bad connotation these days. I don't know if you saw what's been going on the last couple of fucking days.
I live in my own bubble. Honestly, I have no idea what's going on in the hobby right now. And except at shows where people catch me up on things, like you had mentioned earlier when we jumped in some drama with other podcasts and stuff, and I no idea what you're talking about.
Right, I know. You
I
don't
don't
even
keep
listen.
up with. I
Yeah,
post
you
on
don't. Yeah,
Facebook, but I don't really venture on Facebook. People always say like, "Oh, you posted on Facebook, but you didn't read my messages." And I'm like, "Yeah, because it takes me 0.2 seconds to post something on Facebook, and reading a message involves a lot of mental stimulation, and then I have to respond to that. And normally I'm like posting on the go, like I'm sitting passenger and we're on our way somewhere or whatever. And messaging is a lot more back and forth, whereas I could just post to, hey, look, I'm alive. Here's what I did. Most of the time
right,
I post and it's not even what I'm doing that day. It's like I took these pictures 3 weeks ago and finally got around to posting something.
right, right. Yeah, no, I do the same thing. How's the OnlyFans going?
So I was sick recently. And I, like I said earlier, we were babysitting my nephew, and so there was a lot of back and forth with them flying in and stuff. So I've been kind of slacking on posting, but I discounted for the people who know they're already subscribed. And so I started posting more, and I don't know. I plan on posting a lot more now that I don't have another job to worry about going to.
And is it worth it? Because from the numbers that I've looked at, no, I'm just asking. Because I know the top 10% of OnlyFans only make $100 a month off it.
Yeah, I think technically my OnlyFans statistic thing says I'm like top 13%, which is
Okay.
hilarious to me. Because I really don't have that much yet. Like I just started and I don't have like a super crap ton of subscribers or anything like that. And it's just crazy to me to think that I'm the top 13 of OnlyFans with that.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
fucking nuts. But you got a lot of friends. That's why who probably feel uncomfortable and and set up different email accounts so that you don't know it's them. Okay.
Yeah, so the good thing about OnlyFans for you guys, I guess, is that if you want to be anonymous, you can. I have no idea who's subscribed to my OnlyFans. 0% unless they've let me know or they put their name in the username or something or have messaged me about it. I have zero clue. Like there's a lot of people you can make whatever username you want, or if you never put a username, it just automatically gives you a bunch of numbers. So it's like
Right.
user 80 blah 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 blah. And so
Right.
that's all I know of these people that are subscribed to my OnlyFans is
Well, the
whatever
thing
they
is
let me
that
see.
are you getting inappropriate messages like fucking show us your butthole or fucking shit like that? Because
I
you know those
I have
aren't your
definitely
friends.
gotten some, yeah, I've definitely gotten some interesting messages. And apparently dick rating is a popular thing. I didn't know
Dick
that was a thing.
dick writing?
Rating.
Oh, rating. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I
Well, listen, come on. You know, you may be with a woman now, okay? But fucking, you know that most women are fucking absolutely 100% rating dicks and fucking telling all their friends about it. But like, if you're dating a girl, I guarantee all of her close friends know how big your dick is and know the rating that that girl is
Oh yeah,
given.
no, absolutely. If you ever wanted to know your girlfriend's dirtiest, darkest secrets,
Yeah,
they're
that.
in the group chat. There's a group chat somewhere with her closest friends, and there's some
With
stuff.
pictures of your tiny dick on it. Okay, so fucking for all the guys out here that are watching, I know that all of them have dick pics, pictures in their phones
Yeah.
because we all do, you know. So you can't give a guy a camera that small in the phone and expect us not to take pictures of our dicks, right? So fucking. But what I found out in the last 3 months, fucking maybe 6 months, is that so many women have titty and fucking vagina pics in their phone and just automatically send it to the guy and they're like, yeah, this is for you. And that shit is not just for you. That shit was taken 3 weeks ago and it was sent to 100 fucking guys already. So that's all I'm saying. And by the way you're laughing, I know that it's true. Okay. So
Uh,
I,
I mean, listen, it's not true for everyone, but it's true for probably the majority.
yeah, no, it's pretty much true for everyone. Like my dad has a dick pic in his phone. I know it, and so does
Yeah,
yours.
I don't want to know
Okay,
anything about anything involving my
so does
parents.
yours. That's all I'm
Didn't
saying.
happen.
Your
I
mom
know I
probably got
had
them
to
too.
be conceived somehow, but I don't want to know about it.
Yeah. Your mom got them too, right? And fucking, it's what happens. Okay, it's what people do, man. So,
No, thank you.
um, yeah. See, fucking 718 Royals, fucking Steve. Never look in a girl's fucking group chat. Never. Okay.
Never.
So,
Which is funny. That's how my name came about though, on OnlyFans is we have a group chat and it's called Enrichment because we do stupid shit all day long. We buy things we shouldn't and whatever. And so every time we made a decision, we'd call it enrichment. So we felt better about doing it. We're enriching our lives because we bought another plant. We're enriching our lives because whatever. And so originally the OnlyFans was going to be like a shared collab joke thing with Tegan and I. And
mm,
so I called it spicy enrichment because I didn't know what else to call it anyways. And that just sounded good at the time. And then Tegan decided against it because, married and has
right.
big girl career and all that nonsense. And so it's me.
It's just you. And does Coral take all the pictures?
No, she does take a few of them, but no, not all
Okay.
of them.
Okay. Well, Coral says all the dick pics. So fucking go. Coral. Well, like I knew I liked Coral the second I met her. I was like, yeah, fuck all the dick pics. And right now, Coral's father is Rick Tozer, right? Who's basically
Yes.
like a Texas legend, right? Because fucking I mean I've heard stories from it now, is he the guy that's missing a finger because like a tiger bit it off?
No,
No, okay.
no, he has all his fingers.
I know there's a guy down in Texas that's the case. So
I have
what do
no
you
idea what
do?
you're talking about.
No, I'll tell if I can remember the name, I'll tell you. But I'll ask
Got
James from Reptile Gumbo because he knows the
got
guy.
it.
So you're working with his animals now,
I
part
am
time.
sometimes.
Okay,
Yeah, so I'm helping him out, and it's more so because obviously my girlfriend's father, and so I was just over at their house more often, and it he needs help, and I needed something to do, and I enjoy being around all the animals. So I haven't really been able to help him too much lately, but that was part of my decision of leaving ReptiChip is more time at home and then more time being able to help him. And so like even last night he was out of town for a show. He's actually doing one of the herp shows in Louisiana.
mm.
And so we were over there feeding the animals and taking care of the place and everything else.
So you're throwing steaks into the fucking tigers like Tiger King?
So I am feeding yesterday was chicken. So
Okay.
yeah, feeding all of the cats and the lemurs and monkey and capybara and everything else that's there.
Do you still have that little fucking trash panda that I met?
I do. We still have Sedona, and she still currently lives in the house. She has her own bedroom in the house. And she's a spoiled brat. And we're actually my next. So I just built the aviary for my finch in the house, and then so my next big building project is going to be an outdoor enclosure for her to start transitioning her to outside life, so she has more space to play, and I can build her more things to climb on and stuff.
And what was the name of that
So
animal?
she's a Quadamundi.
Okay. All right. So
Uh,
basically, a South American raccoon.
Correct. Yeah, it's the South American relative of a raccoon, basically their equivalent. So that's what you'll see at all the resorts and stuff in Mexico, wandering around, conning people into feeding them and everything else that they shouldn't be doing.
Right. And how long have you had her?
So I've had her since she was a day old. Um, she was born on Rick's property. He has her parents, but they were fairly new to his property. So either they had just conceived getting there, or she was already pregnant when she came to him. So for whatever reason, either mom was stressed, or I don't know if this is her first litter or not, but for whatever reason, she had 3 babies, and they happened to be going on vacation like the next day or whatever from when she had them. So I was walking around with them, you know, checking on all the animals and everything, getting them prepped for him being gone. And so we went to check on her babies, and she had basically eaten the majority of one of them.
Oh God. Okay.
Had started on the other one. So that's kind of what happens. Either the baby was already dead, like it was stillborn or whatever, or for whatever reason it wasn't going to make it, or it passed away. In nature, most animals eat their dead young, for a lot of different reasons, but one of the main ones is to hide from predators, right? Because that's drawing attention. If a predator or whatever sees, smells this animal, that's going to draw them to that area. So for whatever reason, she killed 2 of the babies, or they were already dead, whatever. 2 of the babies are dead. And then Sedona was there, and she was pretty much lifeless. Like, she was still, I thought she was dead. We thought we were just picking up a dead baby.
Were you all ready to throw her in a fucking jar and pour some alcohol on her?
I'm not going to say that wasn't talked about or joked about. But so we went in there, grabbed her, and she was still moving. And so I do a lot of volunteer work. I don't know when to say no, and I stretch myself too thin everywhere. So I did a lot of volunteer work as a vet tech for a medical clinic, and here and there helping other medical clinics and stuff. And so I have always gotten accustomed to preparing for emergencies. So camping and stuff in my truck, I always keep emergency supplies, and I happen to have fluids. And so I was like, okay, she's still moving, so maybe I'll
drown her. Yeah,
I'll try to keep it alive, whatever. I didn't think she was going to make it. None of us thought she was going to make it. She was so far gone. Like, she was so cold. She was so lifeless. So I stuck her in my bra to warm her up. And I was just walking around the rest of the zoo, you know, with a little baby Quadamundi in my tits, to warm her up. And then so I walked over to the truck. I got
wait. Is that on OnlyFans? Is there a picture of that on OnlyFans?
No, it's not a picture on OnlyFans.
All right, continue.
But so I drew up some fluids from the truck, and I gave her some fluids, and I somehow miraculously, fortunately or unfortunately for me, I kept the damn thing alive. And she tried to die on me like 3 times. She had an issue with pneumonia. She wasn't latching on initially, and so she was giving herself aspiration pneumonia, and so we had some issues with that. And then but she's alive now. And
how big is she right now?
So she is nearly full grown. I think we don't really weigh her. I think she's probably 10 pounds or so she still has some growing to do. But she's pretty much like
Can you take her out?
I can. We'll see if she'll cooperate.
I think people would like to see it.
Okay, give me a second. I'll see if she'll cooperate.
All right, while Maria's gone, I just want to remind you guys, Bronx Down Under, fucking Tuesday night at 8:00. Definitely come down. Our first topic is going to be reptile shows. So if you could stop by, I would fucking really appreciate it. It's going to be fucking funny. These 2 fuckers are probably the funniest fucking people that I know in this hobby that do this thing, do this podcast thing. So please don't forget to watch that. Hit the notification bell on the Snakes and the Fatman channel. Go like it, fucking, and we'll go from there. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Right, look at this.
There's not a whole lot of space back here.
Nope.
But this is Sedona.
Mm.
This is
Yeah.
it's
She's
pretty
actually
big
a
now.
lot. She's a lot bigger than when I saw her. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
she'll be a year in May.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Fucking aim.
she's from. Did she just come in here? Who? Huh. No, I just went and got her. Oh, Coral just popped in. She popped her head in. Like, did she just come in here? No, I went and got her.
Yeah,
Like,
this
oh
is
yeah, she just magically transferred over here.
yeah, she just came in here. Yeah. Well,
All right,
that looks like an annoying fucking pet. Jesus Christ. Okay.
I'm gonna go throw her back now. She's
All right,
staring
go
at
ahead. Hey, in case I didn't tell you guys, Bronx Down Under, fucking coming up Tuesday at fucking 8 o'clock. That's all I'm saying. We probably won't be showing Trash Pandas on there, but we're gonna be talking about reptile shows and the history of reptile shows. And it's not gonna be a reptile podcast, but we decided let's make the first one about reptiles. So that's what we're doing. Anyway, fucking yeah, let's see. Okay, there's Maria. Fucking all right. So fucking what are you doing these days now? Like what's your big plan for the next year or so?
fuck. I don't know. trying to make it. I guess I don't know. So I moved in to this house, and so I did that while I was still working 2 jobs and then side stuff. So for the next little while, I'm going to focus on getting the house actually settled, and we're building up projects, and so just kind of hatching stuff out, working on some new stuff. But I have no idea what the rest of the year looks like.
What are
Super
you
busy.
hatching out this year?
So actually, before this live started, so today's one of the days that I feed and water the animals. So I was trying to knock that out before this live, and I was digging around in one of my egg eaters, and I found some more eggs. So those are in the incubator now. We just hatched out a baby African egg eater, and we've hatched out a couple geckos. We have some gecko eggs in the incubator, as well as a bunch more African egg eaters. I'm
Do you
hoping to
do
have some swans and other stuff this year.
do you do file snakes?
I do have some file snakes. I hope that we're going to get eggs from them this year, but I guess we will wait and see.
And talk to me a little bit about the file snakes because those are the ones I'm thinking about getting.
File snakes are interesting. So they are keeled scale, right? So they have that rough texture. As far as keeping, they're super easy. So they're ground dwelling snakes. They're not arboreal or anything. And basically, their care is very similar to ball pythons.
Oh, really?
They're an African species, so they're warmer, and they just kind of want to hide pretty much most of the day. Like as far as active and look at kind of pets, they're not really that. And
Oh, well,
maybe
that's what I want. Yeah.
yeah, most of mine burrow and just sit there. So if you want activity and moving around all the time, they're colubrids. So basically their whole life is eating and shitting.
Oh, like
That's
a hognose?
yeah, anything colubrid, their shits are awful.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, now I don't know if I want to do that. Okay.
File snakes are super cool though. Like I think out of all, so we Rick does a lot of import stuff, and so I have to help him unpack imports, and so I deal with a lot of wild caught adults or juvenile, subadults, whatever, and we've gotten a lot of file snakes, and I don't think I've really gotten bit by any, maybe once or twice. So overall, they're pretty decent as far as that goes. But wanting to be messed with or anything, that's not really it, unless you start with a baby and get it accustomed to that. But starting out with like an adult, you're not really going to get that. And they really just shit and
Yeah.
exist in their tubs or cages.
Yeah. The one I held would freak out unless you held it to your chest, you know?
Yeah, so
Like,
most animals want security. It doesn't matter if they're a mammal, it doesn't matter if they're birds, it doesn't matter if they're a reptile. They're gonna freak out if they're not secure. Most ground dwelling snakes aren't meant to be in the air being handled. So unless you're giving them like a full supportive hold or whatever, if they don't feel fully supported, they're gonna move or freak out. And
and
that's
how big do they get?
um hold on. I'm right
Okay.
next to the rack with them, so
No, normally I don't show snakes on my shows,
oh
but
shut up, it's me.
right, it's you.
So
That's right.
this is one of my bigger females. So
Okay.
I mean they get pretty decent sized, but
Yeah.
like I don't know.
Man, they just feel so fucking cool, you know?
Yeah, I don't know if you can see the texture on them at all, but they're just super cool, keeled, scaled. And that's why I kind of fell in love with them. And I think that's why um, everyone really got into the dragon snakes and blah, blah, blah. So I always joke around like this is the easy to keep dragon snake for people who want them, but they don't want, you know, the cooler temps and everything else that comes along with actual dragon snakes
Right.
because they look
And
basically the same.
when you vend though, you don't sell any of these
Um,
at the show, right?
no, lately the only live animals we've been selling at shows are just kind of like stuff that we were holding back or raising for projects, and we've decided against. We won't really be. I won't really be vending stuff that I produced for quite a while. Even the egg eaters or um, yeah, we're probably the closest thing to selling that I produce this year is probably going to be geckos, not the snake stuff, because the snake stuff has a lot more um, into the project of like holding back until
Right.
XYZ. And yeah.
What kind of geckos?
So the eggs that we have in the incubator right now are Tarantola epiphyata.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
don't know.
it's a really fancy African wall gecko that apparently is a lot more rare than we thought. So we have a big group of them. I think we have like 30 something adults.
Okay.
And so we have a bunch of eggs. And I have like 3 or 4 people messaging me from a rare gecko group about wanting a male or a female or whatever, because I guess the only person that I've seen who's close to selling some is in the UK or something. I don't know. I really don't follow most of the sales stuff. We just think they're cool. We're raising them. That's pretty much most of my projects is just we're going towards less of the common stuff and more of the like oddball one-off here and there hard to find stuff, just because that's what interests us, except for the egg eaters. That's a big project for us, but that has its own nerdy aspects to it.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like a nerdy snake to just have a project on, you know, like you
Yeah,
like rolling
okay,
eyes.
that one, a few people know like the details of that, so I'm not really gonna talk about the details yet until we get that project completely going. We're still working on a few ends, but that's gonna have, it's less about producing the snakes and more about the taxonomy and like scientific papers-esque on them, because there's not too much information about these species. And so Coral doesn't really like snakes because she doesn't want to get bit.
Right.
She's always been around snakes, like venomous, whatever. She can handle stuff. She just doesn't want to get bit. So she doesn't want to deal with snakes. And so we got egg eaters, and I've always been interested in the weird odds and end things anyways, because that's, I mean, dead things, everything else. I like the weird and unusual stuff. So we got those in, and they don't have true teeth, right? So they were perfect for her. They're keeled, scaled, whatever. She fell in love with one of them. And then we started looking into trying to identify them and blah, 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 species wise. And then that turned into a whole snowballed thing. And now I think we have like 56 egg eaters and more on the way. So that's a whole project. Hoping to get that going in the next few months, but we're waiting on a key part of it. And then we'll probably start releasing some of our egg eaters next year. But right now we're incubating and hatching them out and whatever.
Is there a demand for egg eaters though?
No, probably not. Is this
Okay.
a smart route? No, absolutely not. This is 100% us nerding out on something that got our attention and we both enjoy. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird thing. I don't, you can import them, and I think there's, I think most like underground and everything sells them for like 50, $75 a piece. So it's not anything like we're going to become millionaires on egg eaters or anything. But there isn't a whole lot of information on them for hobbyists. And I think people have shied away from specialty feeders because they think it's going to be too hard to keep or hard to source food or whatever. So we're going to try to be a source for our own customers. So like if we sell in hatchling, it's already going to be starting on an easier to find source. And if it's not on that, we are raising birds and stuff to have the bulk extra eggs to sell with them or whatever and be a source for them.
Gotcha. What does a baby egg eater eat?
So egg eaters are really cool in that they can eat eggs up to 3 to 5 times the size of their head. So
I've known some girls like that. So okay, it's all good. That was normally the reaction, but it was more like, so I get it.
Oh, Chris.
All right.
So most of our baby egg eaters, and even like fresh hatch and whatever, can start off on finch size eggs. So that's why I built the aviary for finch, and turns out I really like keeping finch. So we have a whole aviary in the house for finch, and at some point I'm going to have an outdoor enclosure for bulk finch so that we can supply when we ever let egg eaters go. So they eat mostly in the wild. They'll eat tree dwelling species of birds. So they like the softer shell. So we have some that'll eat like quail eggs and everything, but they don't prefer that because it's too hard of a shell.
Right.
So egg eaters, how they eat is they swallow the egg whole, and they have a bony protrusion in their neck on the inside of their body. And so they essentially pop the shell. They suck out, like they drink the yolk, and then they regurgitate the rest of the shell.
Okay.
They're weird. And like I said, it turned into a nerdy thing. And are we going to be billionaires off of egg eaters? No. The rest of our stuff is we have a little bit of everything.
Right. Well, and does Coral do this full time also?
Oh, no.
No, not at all, huh? Okay.
No.
She has a real
Yeah, she has an actual real person career job like I used to, but she is a lot higher end. She's more functioning as an adult than I am.
So you're basically a kept woman currently.
I hope not, but yeah, kind of.
Okay, good deal. And we're gonna wrap it up here in a little bit. Best and worst thing about the hobby.
Ooh, best and worst thing about the hobby. I don't know. So right now, trending topic. Worst thing about the hobby is like people knowing what your friends are doing or know that there's an issue somewhere and not doing anything about it until it becomes a big talked about thing. Specifically like men being creepy with women or vice versa, because there's some creepy women out there.
I feel a little attacked, but okay, go ahead. Continue.
No, but like a lot of these people like having issues, especially at these big shows, grouping, drinks, whatever, somebody knows something, right? You know your friend's doing something, you know something's going on, and you don't say anything until something comes out on Facebook. Like people not taking um I don't even know what the word I'm looking for is. I'm blanking. Anyways,
Okay. So,
whatever.
but people, that's what you're saying.
Yeah,
People are the worst thing about the hobby right
yeah.
now.
But
All
people are also the best thing about the hobby.
right. Okay. I
On
knew you were
other,
gonna say that. I knew
yeah,
I
the other
totally
spectrum of things is like the friendships you make, the networking, everything else. Like you can have this friend group. So like, let's say all ball python people, right? So I started the hobby, not me personally, but like somebody starts the hobby into ball pythons. And so they only know these kind of people, but there's this whole other world of the hobby. So like there's cliques, but those cliques start meshing. And so just like the level of networking to the point of meeting people who are scientists and whatever, like there's such a weird mixture of people in this hobby, and it's so interesting to see and learn about and meet.
yeah, it's like I would have never thought that Warren Booth would be a friend of mine, right? Yet he is. Well, you know, so it's definitely the best thing about the hobby, but there's more bad people than good people, I think.
I don't know that there's more bad people than good people. I think it's just the good people keep to themselves.
Yeah,
The bad people are the
it,
ones that are the loudest, and that goes for not just this hobby, that goes for pretty much everything. The
yeah, no,
loudest people you're
I
going to
could
hear are
agree with that.
people.
Yeah, I could agree with that. Anyway, how could people get in touch with you if they want to?
It's hard to do apparently if you ask a bunch of people. So my Facebook page, I do have a business page. I'm bad about posting on it because I was working 2 jobs and blah 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 blah. But now I'll be good about it. So I've said 100 times. But anyway, so my business page, Endbringer Exotics on Facebook. There's also an Instagram page for it. My personal Facebook page, Maria Dominique Matticola. Um, OnlyFans. I don't know.
Spicy enrichment.
Spicy Enrichment on OnlyFans, and then my personal Instagram is Ria Dominique.
Yes. Okay. All right. Well, fucking don't annoy the fuck out of her. But if you have a serious question about, just you know what, just join her fucking OnlyFans. It's fucking affordable. It's fucking worth it. It's fucking, you know. Again, I only subscribe to the OnlyFans for her articles,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah,
why I do it.
yeah. He doesn't look at any of the stuff at all.
No,
No,
no, no.
none.
I feel like a fucking nasty older brother. Fucking, it's just like that's why I asked you if it was even okay. I'm like fucking. All right, but most of the people in the chat don't know you, so they'll have no problem rubbing one out to you. So fucking go over to fucking OnlyFans and join her OnlyFans. Uh, Spicy enrichment. Maria, thank you for hanging out with me,
Yeah,
man.
thanks,
Uh,
Chris, for being entertaining.
Well, hang out in the green room, and I'm just gonna say goodbye to everybody, and then I'll be right with you. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thanks again, Maria.
Mm-hmm.
All right. There we go. I hope you people fucking learned something. I don't really know what. I don't even care what. I don't give a fuck. Whole fucking point of this show is to make you laugh, right? So fucking who cares if you learn something? Anyway, I might not have mentioned it, but watch Bronx Down Under this Tuesday at fucking 8 o'clock. I think you'll have a good time. I got fucking two other assholes with me, so it's triple the asshole. Tuesday night at fucking 8. Wait. What do I see here? Hold on. Will's Hella Heat says, OnlyFans says no spicy enrichment. Maria, what's up with that?
I don't. So a bunch of people have said that. Apparently, Coral's in the room now. Apparently, she
What's
put
up,
it in the
Coral?
comments.
Okay.
But I mean, you have the link, so you can post the link if you want.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I'll totally do that if you want. I mean,
Yeah,
if it's okay with you, I'll
yeah, it
totally
doesn't
do it.
bother me. You can post the link on there. If not, so it has a capital S and a capital E. I don't know if that makes a difference or not. Coral's shaking her head. Apparently, it does not. I don't know why it is or isn't picking up. But yeah, you can post a link, or someone can message whoever, me
Well,
or whatever.
listen, I think I just want to say that the pervert in the room has been announced because Will obviously went
Wait,
there,
wait, let's not
right?
call them perverts. They're helping me, so
No,
we
it's all good.
appreciate
No,
you.
badge of honor. Badge of honor. Okay. All right, I'm throwing you out again. I'll be right back.
Okay, bye.
All right. All right, there you go. Thank you everybody for fucking hanging out. I appreciate it. And I love Maria to fucking death. And I will probably see her in Arlington this year. And guys, keep coming back. Next show we are gonna have on Tommy Gill, I think. Tommy is hot as fuck, and she's been doing this for a long time. And basically, we have our next 6 hot girl fucking episodes already booked. So if you're a hot girl and you want to be on the show, fucking contact me. There's not really a lot of qualifications that you have. You just have to know somebody in your life that once owned a reptile. That's it. That's it. That's all it takes, and I'll fucking bring you on. So, all right, guys, thanks again. Watch Bronx Down Under. Go visit all the sponsors. Fucking Shamir, fucking Patrick and Andre, fucking Lori and Roger, fucking Nick Markham, my fucking man who killed it at fucking the Herb Show this weekend. My boy Shane. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but because Patrick and Andre joined forces, we have a little fucking little space for rent here for sponsorship. If any of you guys fucking feel like giving me money, I'll always take that. Guys, thanks again, and have a good night. Fucking watch Bronx Down Under, then watch Snakes and the Fat Man, then come back here in 2 weeks for another Fat Man Live with Tommy Gill from Inky Cloud Morphs, I think. Inky Cloud Exotics. I don't remember. I just look at her. I don't really look at her logo a lot. Fucking, I basically watch her gym videos. Anyway, all right, guys. Thanks again, and we'll see you soon.